2017, damn fine year. All kinds of great shit happened this year. A lot of bad shit too. A lot of bad shit. We could spend all day talking and discussing about all of the shit. But how about instead we talk about my top 10 movies of the year? I do things a little differently, so get used to it. I'm doing the top 10 movies I saw for the first time this year. New movies to me, which also includes many that came out this year, so chill. I take that into consideration for my ranking system. My thing is, my time to recommend movies is limited, and a video format that allows me to just recommend a shitload of movies at once is too good an opportunity to give precedence to release dates. Honorable mentions: John Wick 2, Run Lola Run, High Noon, Mother, Monster, Midnight in Paris,
Lady Bird,
Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, Get Out, The Rocketeer, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Your Name, Baby Driver. I'd like to remind you now that all this stuff is just my opinion, and I'm basing my list on what I enjoyed the most out of the year. And Baby Driver, while beyond impressive in terms of spectacle and aesthetics, was lacking in story and character for me. It's stunning, but this isn't the most stunning movies of the year. It's my favorites. There's one movie that I am spotlighting as the most important honorable mention, or first runner-up, I guess, and that's the comedy. It follows a rich white guy played by Tim Heidecker and his friends who just don't have the ability to be sincere. They make fun of every single moment, person, and idea that they can, and it becomes increasingly more obvious as the movie goes on how much it robs them of having happiness in their lives. I find this to be one of the most important movies of my generation because it's highlighting the soul-crushing irony that me and so many people I know take part in. It's an important piece of reflection for cynical people that grew up making dead baby jokes and mocking anything that takes itself seriously. My analysis is that the comedy diagnoses this ironic, cynical look at life as the cancer that has caused rises in depression, suicide, and drug abuse. The only reason this movie isn't on my top 10 is that it's extremely difficult to watch and lacks a lot of entertainment value. It's uncomfortable and full of misery, but I think it's saying something really important that everyone, but especially young people, should hear. Alright, let's get into the top 10. Starting off with -1 billion is The Circle. Fuck this stupid goddamn time-wasting piece of hot-ass garbage, cock-sucking ass face. Fuck! Number 10 is Silence. Silence had the potential to be one of the most important films of the last decade. The cinematography is jaw-dropping. The story touches on so much in terms of faith and worship of images, without presenting it in a black and white way. It's about two missionaries who go to Japan to find and rescue a captured Liam Neeson. Oh, how the tables have turned. Every character's view is explained, understood, and respected, so it makes for an engaging discussion of what the religious will go through in service of faith. But why fucking Andrew Garfield? He cannot handle such a complex character. Apparently, Scorsese tried making this movie for 10 years and just couldn't find the financial backing or something. So I imagine the studio demanded some eye candy in order to give Scorsese what he needed, and it seriously damaged an amazing movie which would have been higher on the list if not for the odd casting choices. I see what you tried to do, Marty. You held on to your faith in the picture even through insurmountable odds. Hey, you're like that one guy in your movie, wow. Number 9 is Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I have never liked a Marvel movie. I slept through the Avengers, Iron Man bores me, Civil War I stayed attentive through and got some pleasure out of, but it was forgettable and unremarkable for me. Guardians 2 was the funnest 2 hours I've spent in a movie all year. I didn't want it to end. Lovable ragtag characters going on personal journeys of emotion and adventure in a sci-fi playground with hilarious dialogue and captivating action sequences? Yeah. Marvel movies have a tendency to keep character and plot somewhat separate. Like Thor Ragnarok had very similar elements to Guardians 2, but it couldn't find a way to shed all the obligatory Marvel plot shit. Nobody cares about Asgard. Everyone knows Thor is gonna win. I wanted Thor and the Hulk on a crazy junk planet, powerless and getting in wacky hijinks. But no, we got Karl Urban and Asgardians. I'm bored. I'm bored. Where's James Fun? That's his name now. His name is James Fun. Number 8 is It Comes at Fucking Night. Terrible marketing. Terrible marketing. Some bro that sat behind me took his girlfriend to see it, expecting Annabelle jump scare spookfest. It ended up getting a slow-moving, tense character drama about fear and mistrust. Gotcha, buddy. You got goofed on, fam. He literally shouted at the screen at the end. Fucking waste of time. Waste of brain cells. It was hilarious, but it made me really sad, though, because I was floored by the intricate, nuanced story. After an apparent outbreak, civilization has crumbled, and now a small family is getting by in a forest when a secretive man shows up asking them to trust him. I was on the edge of my seat for the entirety of this tense journey and was deeply shook by the way this film presents a world where a single glance or the wrong word at the wrong time can destroy the fabric of your life. Beautiful story, beautiful cinematography, amazing acting, and far more horrific than what that dude bro behind me was expecting. Number 7 is The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Oof. This movie is not for everybody. But if you're the type of person that likes art films with non-conventional camera work, dark senses of humor, and can handle being disturbed to a decent extent, then this is your movie, baby. The camera work and music play off each other to create these haunting moments that just pull you in and suck you up in a way that only after the movie is over do you start to piece together the deep themes and meanings behind the picture, unlike the director's last movie, The Lobster, which wore its intentions clearly on its sleeve. If Yorgo Lanthimos keeps making great movies like this, in a few years he could be considered the next Stanley Kubrick. All you need to know is that a doctor is maintaining a friendship with a boy whose father he is responsible for killing during an operation. Don't look anything else up, just go see it. Number 6 is Green Room. This is the most horrific movie I saw this year. Maybe the horror genre should be renamed to the spooky genre, because the only movies from recent years that actually made me feel horror fit more under drama thrillers. Green Room is a horror movie by execution. It doesn't proclaim to be a horror movie, then just put a spooky face on the screen. God, mainstream Hollywood horror movies have the same amount of creativity as internet pranksters from 2007. Green Room subverts every expectation. Leaves our characters, a punk band who just were in the wrong place at the wrong time, absolutely helpless and terrified. Has a color palette that alone is enough to make you feel uncomfortable and does not slow down to let you breathe. Getting close to death is a common element in many a movie, but Green Room truly captures the fear of being fucking murdered more than any mainstream horror movie to date. Number 5 is Logan. Like I said, superhero movies just cannot keep my attention. I know what's going on here. I'm not worried enough about the safety of your characters to be enthralled in the action, and I know they won't undergo any change or growth because they need to be the same people in the next movie. So, how do you circumvent that? Basically guarantee the death of your main character and surround the plot with the major character flaw we've been watching him deal with for 17 years. Then you'll have me engaged at the ending battle. I was shouting. I fucking cried. It was glorious. Marvel, look at it. Look at it. Ooh, fuck. Number 4 is Wind River. My vote for the most overlooked film of the year. Visually breathtaking. So much of this movie feels like real life, from the production design, to the nuanced performances, to the setting, to the very straightforward linear plot. I don't mean that as a bad thing at all. The whole movie takes place over 2 days, and it's so simple, yet heart-wrenching and dramatic, tense at times. It's about a police officer whose daughter died the previous year, investigating the murder of a 19-year-old girl, the daughter of one of the people that live in this very small mountain town. It's a sad drama, but its beauty and subtlety make it so rewatchable. I saw it 3 times in theaters, more than any other movie all year. Get it at your local Redbox. Numero 3 es Y tu mamá también. When you were a teenager, did you ever dream of going on a road trip with your best friend in the world and the most beautiful woman the two of you have ever seen? How about also drinking, smoking weed, and having sex with her? Then you'd probably be interested in Y tu mamá también. Well, on the surface level, that's the premise of the movie, and it will constantly remind you of that. A reoccurring voiceover is always giving the viewer this in-depth information about the characters, their history, and random things in the environment. It really builds the sense of there being so much more going on than what you're seeing. It's a really refreshing, eye-opening trip to go on that still feels like a fun road trip with friends. Number 2 is Unforgiven. The Western as a genre has died out. And it's sad. Certainly the inspirations are still around, and we often get the occasional remake or TV show or low-budget indie flick, but mainstream westerns are few and far between since the turn of the millennium. And if they really did die out for good, then Unforgiven is their swan song. Unforgiven is a wonderful story about the death of the Western ways of life to make way for the America that we live in today, and the power that's held by the master of chaos if he is called upon. It's a deep, cutting drama that means a lot to me in terms of philosophy and movies. I plan to make a full analysis video of this film in the future, so I'll just leave it on this note. Isn't that nice? And the number 1 movie of 2017 is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. 3 Billboards is an intricate ballet of emotion conducted by a continuously waging battle between realism and cinematic bravado, keeping everything so human and real yet pushing the limits of what a character is willing to do in order to achieve their goal, all the while never making these people do anything out of character, creating funny, relatable, heart-wrenching, tense, beautiful, and shocking moments. This film can, on a dime, change from what feels like a stone-cold dramatic moment of pure tension to a tender one wrought with care and compassion. Despite a multitude of ridiculous things happening, the film, more than any, truly reflects what it is to live a human life. Every relationship is complex. Every character has depth. Every moment holds an emotional weight. Of all the movies that got my dick hard this year, 3 Billboards got me the hardest. Thank you for watching, and if you're subscribed and you like the channel, I'm super happy to be entertaining you guys. If you guys have any movie or commercial or thing you guys would like me to review or talk about, please feel free to leave the recommendation in the comments, and I'll try to check it out. Much love, see you guys soon.